You look at the program in this thing, and it looks like a Breeders' Cup. It looks like a Kentucky Derby already. I mean, you got Baffert, you got Zito, Frankel, Asmussen, McPeak, you got Bailey, Stevens, Velasquez. I'm leaving out B and Cohn. The humans are solid. We don't know about the animals yet.
Yeah, the animals are not nearly as accomplished as the human element, but there's a lot of upside. I mean, we don't have any of the top-ranked 3-year-olds here, but we have a lot of horses with potential. And if they win this race or do well, if they continue to develop over the next 8 weeks, then by the time we get to the Kentucky Derby, there could be some key contenders here.
Remember, you don't have to win this race to go forward. Funny Side 2 years ago was a third-place finisher in this race. Well, things change very quickly, and it changed just within the last 48 hours. The favorite for the Derby is no longer running in the Derby.
Declan's Moon. He won the Santa Catalina on Saturday to remain undefeated, but last year's 2-year-old champion came out of this race with a minor fracture, if there is such a thing, in a knee. He will miss the entire Triple Crown. And, of course, it was already kind of a wide-open picture, even though he was the favorite, and now it becomes even more wide open.
Yeah, it's a minor fracture when it happens to someone else. Mentioned all those stud trainers in this race. The last 4 winners are back for more.
Bob Baffert, Bobby Frankel, Ken McPeak, and Steve Asmussen. We've also got 5 of the last 6 winners of this race, because Dallas Stewart won it back in '99. Most of them paid big prices, and, of course, that list doesn't even include Todd Pletcher, America's reigning champion trainer, Nick Zito, who's loaded this year, and Patrick Biancone. It's like an all-star game for trainers here.
Let's meet the horses one by one. Breaking from the rail, sorted out. New owner, new trainer, the trainer Bob Baffert, tied for the best buyer figure in this field.
And as you just saw on the graphic, Bob Baffert won this race last year with a 7-1 shot in Wimbledon, sorted out coming off a big win in the whirlaway at Aqueduct.
Storm Surge from the 2 gets Jerry Bailey after a 3rd-place finish here in the Grade 3 Risen Star.
Storm Surge's hallmark is consistency. He stalks the pace close up, and he's almost always right there through the stretch run.
Bobby Frankel, the new trainer for High Limit, 2 for 2, but Randy, those 2 came way back last October.
This is the X factor in the race. We don't know how good he is. Bobby Frankel doesn't know either. He'll find out a lot more about him today, but he sure looks like a good horse.
A real dandy came home second at 44-1 in the Risen Star, being overlooked again here today.
He'll come from off the pace, always finishes strongly, and you've got that popular combination here of Steve Asmussen and jockey Donnie Madden.
Nick Zito not here in person to see if Indy Storm can live up to his family's high standards. He's kind of let AP Indy, Seattle Slew, and Unbridled down so far.
He's a fabulously bred horse by AP Indy out of a full sister to champion Banshee Breeze, but so far he looks too slow to win this race.
Wall Street Scandal taking the Peace Rules route, prepping on turf before this.
He's run on the turf his last 2 starts. He won his last time, but Peace Rules 2 years ago came into this race off 4 straight grass races, and he won it.
Scythian, right now the co-favorite, came from dead last to win the Risen Star here at 10-1.
And this is a good track to come from dead last because the Fairgrounds has the longest stretch run in North America. Gary Stevens rode him in the Risen Star, and Stevens is back in from California today.
Vicarage has never gone more than 7.5 furlongs on dirt and is slow.
Hard to believe with the Todd Pletcher, Johnny Velasquez combination, but this is one of the longest shots on the board. He's not proven around 2 turns, but he does have speed, and he was 3rd in the Hutchinson last out.
Kansas City boy Ken McPeak has him improving. Just like sorted out, he has that 96 buyer. Got that when he beat High Fly, who then, as they say in the forum, flattered him because he won the Fountain of Youth.
This horse was scratched by McPeak from the Fountain of Youth last week because he wanted an outside post, and as it turns out, he got the outside post.
Here's how the experts are playing the race. Sorted out, Storm Surge have been painted at 6-1. High Limit at 3-1. Co-favorite with Scythian at 3-1. And Kansas City Boy 7-2. Just like the race preview itself, pretty wide open on the gaming. We're coming right back to the Fairgrounds to run the Louisiana Derby. We'll be back in a moment.
In the stretch run, he went from 10th, as you see him there on the outside turning for home, all the way to 1st. Now you'll see 2 other horses in the field also that we'll see today. White Silk's Green Cap taking the lead in the middle. That is Storm Surge. To his immediate outside on the left, that would be Real Dandy closing ground. You'll see Real Dandy just poke his head in front of Storm Surge with a 16th to go, but neither one of them could hold off the charge of Scythian on the far outside. The Risen Star was a fast-paced race. Scythian, with his running style, dead last early, that's probably the way he'll run today, needs fast fractions to help set it up. We'll see how fast the pace is today.
Although don't write that in stone, because at 3 they're changeable. They can run differently from week to week. Storm Surge gets Jerry Bailey this time. That's a nice price at 6-1 with Jerry Bailey on his back.
Son of Stormcat Bailey and those very familiar Overbrook Farm Silks. In 1996, Overbrook Farm bought a horse into this race, switched jockeys to Jerry Bailey. They won the Louisiana Derby with that horse, and it was Grindstone who went on to win the Kentucky Derby. Now they switch again to Jerry Bailey with the Louisiana Derby in mind. Very consistent horse, should be stalking the pace from close up.
And what could very well be his final Louisiana Derby, the rumors about Jerry Bailey's retirement. High Limit is the strange one in this race. 2 for 2 on the front end the whole time. Bobby Frankel now the trainer. However, how do you know how good it is? The fractions were slow, and who was he going against?
You don't. I mean, this is his last start, October the 24th at Delaware Park. He was 1-10 in this race. He won it by 8. He was drifting in, lugging in. He tries to jump the tracks right here, the starting gate tracks as the horse is near the finish. He was very inexperienced. He's still inexperienced.
Maybe he was bored.
It may be. Frankel, like us, doesn't really know how good he is, and he'll get a big test today. He's never been behind in his 2 starts.
What did Frankel say? You talk to all these guys, and do the imitation of Frankel.
I don't do it as well as you do. Frankel and his assistant, Jose Cuevas, who gets on this horse in the morning, both say the horse has developed physically since his 2-year-old year. He looks like a good horse, acts like a good horse, trains like a good horse, but, I mean, the racing landscape is littered with horses who looked and acted like good horses, but when they ran against the top competition, they couldn't handle it. And we'll find out a lot more about High Limit here.
We're just trying to narrow it down from, 353 original nominations?
Yeah, that's all we're doing.
Kansas City Boy, the 9, right now 7-2, third choice in the betting. Kansas City Boy took forever and a day to break his maiden, but then back-to-back grade 3s, he's ran quite well. One here at the Fairgrounds, one at Gulfstream, and as I said, he beat High Fly, who then goes on and wins the Fountain of Youth.
And in that race, the Holy Bull, he was a little rank early. He sort of dragged jockey Brees Blank up between horses on the backstretch faster than Brees wanted to go, which is why McPeak wanted an outside post position for his next start. The horse is still kind of immature, and he gets rattled very easily. He runs off if he's inside. He gets between horses and doesn't like it. There's Kid McPeak and co-owner Carl Gessler, and the Carl Gessler Jr. there in the foreground. So he thinks the horse is better on the outside, stalking the pace. The key, though, is from the outside post position, short run to the first turn. Will he be caught wide on that first turn? But they do not want to see this horse in front early.
Well, we need a Bud Longshot in this race, and once again, the people are disrespecting this horse here at the Fairgrounds, Randy.
We have Real Dandy currently at odds of 15-1. Real Dandy, co-owner or owner Bob Zollers, trainer Steve Asmussen, jockey Donnie Mesh. That trio brought you a 20-1 long shot a couple of years ago in this Louisiana Derby named 50 Stars. That was 2001. The next year they almost won it. The same combination with Easy from the get-go at 9-1. He was beaten a nose by Repent. So Asmussen, Mesh, and Zollers know their way around Louisiana Derby long shots. 15-1, good enough for us.
Yeah, Scipion barely beat him, but because of that strong move, that huge move, that's why he rates it 3-1 from the bettor's perspective, 15-1 for Real Dandy. Randy, what are the keys to the race besides winning it?
Yeah, first of all, with a lot of trainers wanting to stalk the pace, will High Limit make an easy lead? If not, how will he react to being behind horses? Watch the run to the first turn with Kansas City Boy from the 9 post. Will he be caught 4 or 5 wide into the first turn? That'd be tough to overcome. Scipion, if it's 46 and change for the first half mile, he's in the game. If it's 47 or slower, might be a little tough for his come from behind run to be as effective. And finally, Sorted Out, who along with Kansas City Boy have run the fastest of any of these horses, has post 1, which is good for saving ground, but Robbie Alvarado's got to find a way out at some point because the field could get pretty bunched up.
It's strange. In other years, we've come into this race, and there have been horses who prove themselves better at 2, but this one, for some reason, has a little more excitement than those. Like, all of these are right on the verge of big potential.
And this is a very evenly matched field. It's hard to figure out pace-wise what's going to happen. I mean, Dallas Stewart doesn't want Storm Surge on the lead. They don't want Vicarage on the lead. Todd Pletcher wants to be stalking. McPeak wants to stalk with Kansas City Boy. High Limit may make the pace by default, and if it's a really slow pace, he'll be tough to beat. But no horse has won the Louisiana Derby in wire-to-wire fashion in the last 14 years. So it makes it pretty tough.
Who didn't know that? Who's the winner?
I think Kansas City Boy's the horse to beat. I really do.
I'm with you there. Let's find out how John G. Dooley calls it from upstairs, the 93rd running Louisiana Derby.
Kenny, thank you very much. Looking here at Kansas City Boy. Last of the 9. Kansas City Boy in the gate. And they're off in the Louisiana Derby. Storm Surge breaks well, and here's the speed of High Limit between horses. On the outside, Vicarage finds a spot up front. Between horses, Wall Street Scandal there, and Kansas City Boy just a touch wide into the clubhouse turn. It will be High Limit in front past the 7/8 pole. Ramon Dominguez and High Limit to establish the lead from Vicarage. Storm Surge right there at the rail, and Kansas City Boy now being rated from 4th position. Wall Street Scandal is 5th. Detached from those is Sorted Out alongside Indy Storm, and then comes Real Dandy, and late running Scipion is ninth. The opening quarter, 23-2. High Limit leads Vicarage as they head to the half-mile pole. Storm Surge right there at the rail, and Kansas City Boy being rated kindly from fourth, only 3 from High Limit as they go to a half-mile out. Then Wall Street Scandal, Sorted Out, has 7 lengths to find. Indy Storm, Real Dandy, and the Risen Star winner, Scipion, remains last. Half mile in 47-1. Moving into the far turn, High Limit looking to lead throughout. High Limit and Vicarage, 1-2 at the 5/16 pole. At the rail is Storm Surge as they come toward the top of the stretch. And then Wall Street Scandal as they turn for home past the quarter pole. 3 quarters, 1:11-4. High Limit still there. Vicarage, Storm Surge trying to split horses. Down the middle of the track gaining ground is Wall Street Scandal. And farther out is Kansas City Boy. They're deep in the final furlong. And High Limit pulling away now from Vicarage. They've been 1-2. And High Limit just oozing with talent here. Powered down by Ramon Dominguez to win by 4. Vicarage second, Storm Surge third, and Wall Street Scandal was fourth. The final time.
What was that thing you were saying about wire-to-wire victories?
Yeah, no wire-to-wire winner of the Louisiana Derby in the last 14 years, and there you see another one.
High Limit, proving what occurred at 2 at Delaware, is the real deal at 3. High Limit is going forward with a big win, convincing win in Louisiana Derby. We'll be right back to hear from the winners and see it again. 3 just set a stakes record in the Louisiana Derby. Ramon Dominguez gets him home in 1:42-3 for 1.16 miles. Randy Bobby Frankel has a Derby horse.
It certainly looks like he does. I mean, High Limit certainly set a comfortable pace, 47 and change, and he wasn't really challenged that much early, which is not going to stay the same, obviously. High Limit breaks from post 3, or number 3, program number 3. I want you to watch number 1 there. That's Sorted Out, trained by Bob Baffert, who didn't really break alertly there and never really got into the race at all. But you see right there, Ramon Dominguez easily making the early lead with High Limit. Vicarage stalking the pace, and the pace was so comfortable now as we pick it up for the stretch run that those same 2 horses ran all the way around the racetrack 1-2, and basically they were 1-2-3 all the way around because Storm Surge was right there as well. High Limit, owned by Gary and Mary West. They had a horse a couple of years ago who might have been the Kentucky Derby favorite by the name of Buddha, who looked like he was going to be a top Derby horse. He won the Wood Memorial in a photo finish, but then he came up with a foot bruise the day before the Kentucky Derby and had to drop out of the race. And now the Wests, that's their pink colors, of course, that Dominguez is wearing, and looks like they'll have another shot at it if things hold.
High Limit has never trailed in a horse race so far. 3 for 3, winning the 1.16 Louisiana Derby. Scipion was nowhere to be found. Neither was our fine choice, Kansas City Boy. High Limit, it's official. It's a 3.82 for those of you doing that kind of thing. High Limit returning $7.20 up front.
And for you pedigree buffs, High Limit is a son of Marie Asman, who was also the sire of 2001 Kentucky Derby winner Monarchos.
Still more on High Limit's win in the Louisiana Derby is to be had. There's still some good college basketball coming up for you fans out there. Stay around. We got horse racing next from New Orleans. Ramon Dominguez, and Randy's down there with both of them.
Hey, thanks, Kenny. Down here with the happy winners. Ramon Dominguez has got a ride in the next race, so we'll get him out of the way real quick like. Now, obviously, the horse broke well for you, and it had to be sort of a dream trip, right?
Yes, I'm very pleased, and first of all, I want to thank my connection for keeping me on the horse, and he just basically put himself out there, and by now, I guess it's not a secret that the horse can run, and but what amazes me about him, or what I like about him, is his ability to relax, especially for a young horse like him coming off a layoff. I mean, he made the lead and just came back to me and was just waiting for me to ask him.
You say ability to relax. Do you think there will be any problem, perhaps, putting him behind horses if necessary?
I mean, things can change when you do experiment, when you do actually do it, but I will not be surprised at all if he relaxes behind horses, because that's the feeling that he gives me. He's just very easy on himself.
Obviously, we're all looking ahead to 1.25 miles the first Saturday in May. How strongly did he finish with you the last quarter of a mile?
He finished pretty strong. I mean, and he just does as much as you ask him to.
Thanks, Ramon. Appreciate it. Now, winning trainer Bobby Frankel, slide in here a little bit. Now, you were wanting to learn about this horse just like all the rest of us, huh?
Well, I just, Ramon knows him better than I did, so when he came in the paddock, I just said, you know the horse better than me, so just ride him the way you want.
Did the race shape up about the way you had expected?
I thought so. I thought they'd take back the Kansas City boy, and I was a little worried about Storm Surge going to the lead, but he didn't show the speed I thought he would, so he found himself on the lead, and he ran really well. You know, you never know till you run them yourself how they're going to run, but he ran very, very happy.
Cool little stat out for you here. You've ridden Ramon Dominguez 5 times, and you've got 3 wins out of it. You guys obviously make a pretty decent team.
And 2/3.
Next start for this horse.
Well, you got the Bluegrass, you got the Wood Memorial, you got a few races, so we'll just map it out, see how he is. But we probably have to get another race into him for sure.
All right, congratulations. Peace rules. Now, High Limit. Bobby Frankel winning a second. Kenny?
One thing he won't be doing is taking another 139 days rest, but some of these others might consider it. Bob Baffert didn't get much out of Sorted Out, way back there in 8th place. Indy Storm kind of doing what it's been doing so far, and not much either from Kansas City Boy. We're going to come right back to the fairgrounds, wrap this race up, where High Limit has convincingly won the 93rd Louisiana Derby. Stay around.
State weeks, the preparations are going to come fast and furious, and next week we've got 3 big ones, all on Saturday, smack dab in the middle of March Madness. And the best of the, well, it's tough. It's kind of a dead heat, but one of the best is the San Felipe, which will be, of course, at Santa Anita. It will have 7 of the Racing Form's top 25 3-year-olds, including Wilco, the upset winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile at Lone Star Park last fall, and Roman Ruler, trained by Bob Baffert. But you'll also see Consolidator, Giacomo, Don't Get Mad, a lot of top horses. Then Oaklawn Park, same afternoon. The Rebel Stakes, featuring a Fleet Alex, who won that 6 furlong stakes race, the Mountain Valley, against the undefeated Rockport Harbor, trained by John Service of Smarty Jones fame. Greater Good also going in that race. There's Rockport Harbor defeating Galloping Grocer at 1 1/8 in November in the Remsen Stakes at Aqueduct. Last but not least, Tampa Bay Downs, the Tampa Bay Derby. Another chance to look at Sun King, who was so impressive in that allowance win at Gulfstream for trainer Nick Zito. Now that Declan's Moon is out, I think Sun King right now looks like the logical Kentucky Derby early favorite.
Closing on Sunday, 6 o'clock. Things are going to change week by week. But for now, your bets will be down with the final pari-mutuel closing 6 o'clock Eastern. On Sunday, the girls close at 6:30 Eastern for the Oaks.
Right. Make sure that they get Sweet Catamine's race in there. Obviously, the race changed the complexion completely, or the Pool 2 betting did when Declan's Moon was out. Right now, you see a Fleet Alex. Slight favorite over Lost in the Fog, Sun King, and Rockport Harbor. And
get your bets in. Get them in early. The pool closes Sunday, 6 o'clock Eastern, 6:30 for the girls. High Limit, we've talked on and on about, Randy, but kind of left Vicarage out of the equation, who ran a pretty strong second, especially after being scolded in the pre-race comment.
He was kind of scolded. He was in a good spot. He had a good trip all the way around, but still there were distance questions. He answered some of those today. Trainer Todd Pletcher second in the Fountain of Youth last week with Bandini, his best horse, and now second in the Louisiana Derby.
One more note. High Limit tied the stakes record by 5th, but by hundredths it was the 4th fastest.